Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I always struggle a little bit in finding a subject to talk about. As a matter of fact, I've been told we should have a canned speech always, and I have one. It's called The Virtue of Vultures. So if you ever hear me talking about vultures, it's because I ran out of ideas. But I kind of realized that having dinner and talking about vultures is probably not the best way to start off a meeting. So when one of my fellow Toastmasters, Jack Griffin, recommended a book to me, I read it and I thought it would be a good idea to talk about. The book is called The Science of Getting Rich. And the premise of the book is summarized in the following statement. Whatever may be said in the praise of poverty, the fact remains that it's impossible to live a really complete life unless one is successful and rich. And I thought, well, that's an interesting topic for a book. What made it more interesting is the book was published in 1910. And you don't equate that type of book with 1910. You equate it more with the 1980s and good as greed mentality that came out of it. But the book has a lot of good ideas in it. And it also had an interesting other fact. It flies in the face of the old saying, money can't buy you happiness. And not only that, if you listen to the Beatles, and can't buy you love either, but that's a whole different story. Or can it buy you happiness? I'm not going to get into the science of the book, which is an interesting science. I'm actually going to talk to you about the 3 nagging questions that I asked myself as I read the book. The first one, can money buy happiness? If so, how much money do you need? And number 3, what is happiness after all? So little did I know when I was asking myself these questions that I would find the answer the very next day in an article I read in Time magazine. It had the answer to all 3 questions. Can it buy happiness? According to the article that was written by Nobel winner in economics, the answer is yes, it can buy you happiness. The amount you need, $75,000. And what is happiness? It answered to, there's actually 2 types of happiness. What they call day-to-day happiness and what they call long-term happiness. So in terms of the long-term happiness, that is the feeling that you get in terms of how you're doing in life. Day-to-day is the one we feel every day. You get out of bed, you know right away if you're going to have a good day, the coffee is not brewing well, or you get on the highway and you're in a traffic jam. But everyone wakes up with the same type of day-to-day happiness. So I decided to ask myself and take an informal poll at work about the question if money does happiness. So I asked 2 questions to my co-workers. The first question was, how much money would you need to be happy? The second question was, how much money would you need to make in order to be rich? Every single person gave me different answers about how much money they need to be happy and how much money they needed to be rich. The interesting part is the amount to be happy was always less than the amount they needed to be rich. So I thought that was an interesting concept because it kind of flies in the face of the book, saying you needed to be rich to be happy. So then I started asking them other questions. And it seemed everyone had a story about their happiest moments being when they were actually poor. Everyone wanted to argue that point. No one wanted to argue that they would be happy when they were richer. So I had people telling me stories that when they lived in poverty, they had the best friends, they did the most simple things, they went and rode bicycles, they rode motorcycles that had missing parts to them, they got stuck in rainstorms, and they were the happiest they could be. And now that they had money, they had more problems, which was interesting because they also say that the more money you make, the more accomplished you feel, and there's a satisfaction with being accomplished in life. But according to all my co-workers, they were all happy when they were poor. So another part of this book was interesting that I kind of didn't follow the instructions to, was that I wasn't supposed to philosophize about the book. It was simply a manual on how to get rich. But I couldn't help myself in asking these questions. But when I look back on the book, I think to myself that it's a well-written book because it does what all good books do. It makes you ask yourself questions, and it makes you go out and read more. So it accomplished this for me. And if you're interested in reading the book that Jacques recommended, it's called The Science of Getting Rich. And it's the book that was the foundation to one of the best-selling books in the last 5 years, which was The Secret. So I thank you for listening, and thank you for thinking about maybe the fact that perhaps money doesn't buy happiness, or perhaps it's having good friends and good experiences that brings happiness. Thank you.